to the channel. I'm Cheryl. This is True Crime and Other Stuff. This is part 2 of 6 weeks and no suspects, the IDAHO4 murders. If you like true crime with all facts and no BS, then you should subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.
So as you reported earlier this week, Alex, the last thing that we heard on tape was the surveillance camera showing Maddie and Kaylee walking from the Corner Club bar to the grub truck. And the only thing we could hear was, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And then Maddie responds, I told Adam everything. Was there any conversation in the back of the Uber car about Adam or the bartender? Because Adam turned out to be the bartender. Did he mention anything like that?
Yeah, actually, the rideshare driver said that he knows Adam. He knows he's a bartender, but Adam was not brought up once at all during that conversation. Again, no conversations about boys, drama, or any trouble as far as what the girls were feeling. He said they were not fearful, they weren't skittish in any way. But back to the food truck, also I asked him about that. Hey, you were right there. Did you see anything out of the ordinary there? And he said, no, it was a Saturday night at the food truck. A bunch of college kids hanging out, ordering their food before heading home. You know, I brought up another person a lot of people have speculated about, the hoodie guy he's been referenced as. He said he didn't see that guy. He has no indication that anything was wrong there at the food truck, and certainly during that entire rideshare home, no indication that anything was wrong there rather.
Okay, then what about the police? Because clearly I would have imagined the police have a lot more, machinery and technological ability than sometimes we do to track people down. I assumed that the police would have found him and that they would have talked. What did he say about being able to tell everything he told you to the police?
Right. Yeah, this was super interesting to me because he said that he didn't hear about the murders until the next day, and he realized, oh my gosh, these are the two girls that I had driven home, and I've driven home in the past. And so he was stewing on that for a little bit, but he was the one who eventually turned himself over to the police by calling the tip line saying, hey, I was the one who drove these girls home. The police tells the rideshare driver that they already knew he was the driver, but even still, he was the one who called in himself and said, hey, I was that guy. That being said, when he did that, called the tip line, he turned over all of his GPS coordinates from that night, sharing that he went to Taco Bell after dropping the girls off and then went home. And so that's the reason why he was cleared almost immediately, never been named as a suspect or persons of interest, because all the data that he provided to the police proves that he was not there at this house at the time that these murders allegedly happened.
So the other question is, as you are standing almost, I imagine, in the same spot where they were dropped off, did he mention anything about the drop-off that was unusual? Anybody in the parking lot? Did he drive into the parking lot? Did he hear something, see something, pass anybody?
Ashley, the only thing he said was that he heard the frats doing their normal partying, but everything else seemed quiet, seemed normal. There were no headlights. There was no one following him. He says he's got a great memory, and he would know whether or not anyone was trailing him or if there was anything suspicious at all. As far as the drop-off, he said that he brought them right up the street here on King Road and dropped them off here at the foot of the driveway. He never pulls actually into the driveway because he says, based on his training, he always wants to be able to have a quick getaway in the event that something bad happens to him, like he gets robbed on the side of the road. But he dropped them off here on King Road. He watched them get out of the car. He did not watch them physically go into the home, but he said that he trusted that they were going to be safe because he's driven them so many other times, and he knew that these two girls were together.
In the surveillance footage, Kaylee Gonzalez's father says it shows her and Madison Mogan walking down Main Street in Moscow, Idaho, with a man whom police have confirmed is not a suspect. Their conversation caught on camera.
What did you say to Adam? I told Adam.
The footage submitted to authorities as part of the investigation. Kaylee's family lawyer telling ABC News they've seen it and they also don't believe the Adam referenced is a suspect.
Given international attention, and rumors continue to circulate online about evidence and suspects. The Moscow Police Department continues to battle disinformation spreading in this case, and tonight they are clearing up rumors about where Kaylee's dog was found inside the home and an alleged stalker Kaylee might have told friends about. Investigators say Kaylee's dog was in the house when they arrived to the scene, but the dog was not found in the room with any of the victims. Police say the dog was not in a room where the crimes were committed, and there was no evidence that it had gone into those parts of the house. The dog was taken to a local shelter, and it was later released back to family. Next, the claims that Kaylee had a stalker. Investigators say they looked into an incident in mid-October, which is where they believe the stalker claims originated, that Kaylee made the friends. Now, according to police, Kaylee was at an unidentified local business. 2 men were seen inside attempting to pick up women. One of those men appeared to follow Kaylee out to her car, but did not make any contact with her, according to police. Investigators say both men have been investigated and cleared as suspects.
And we hear from the 2 surviving roommates inside at the time of the stabbings in their own words.
I'm going to be reading 2 different letters, one from Dylan and one from Bethany.
Their letters read by a pastor at a service held this weekend. From Dylan Mortensen.
My life was greatly impacted to have known these 4 beautiful people.
And Bethany Funk.
Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan were truly all one of a kind. They all lit up any room they walked into and were gifts to this world.
Officials say the surviving roommates have been ruled out as potential suspects. Their 4 friends stabbed to death in the early morning hours of November 13th, likely while asleep in their beds. With no suspects or murder weapon, the Moscow Police Department still following leads in the investigation, digging